Are you excited to learn some ideas for using the felting foot? Stick around. Welcome to a special studio spotlight. I'm Kim Sandberg, and today with me I have a special guest. I have
Martha Higdon.
And where are you from?
Indiana.
And she is one of our national educators. And Martha does some pretty amazing stuff with felting. So Martha, tell us, first of all, what is felting? Because a lot of people are like, what is this felting thing?
What is felting? Right. Well, Handi Quilter came out with a Handi felting foot for our machines. It fits all of our machines except the Infinity. So at training, you know, we got the little spill and then we all got to felt, all of us educators got to felt on the machine. And then I went home and then I was out teaching and it seemed like it kept coming up. What is that felting foot? And I thought, well, you just felt, and that wasn't good enough. So I thought, I better learn exactly what felting is. So that's where I just started doing a lot of projects with felting. And so I was grabbing everything in the house, a blue jean jacket, my fleece vest, my apron, and I was just felting everything. So you put the felting foot on our machines and our stationaries and our movables, and then you'll need wool, lots of wool. So I have wool products, and then roving, which is another form. It's just roving like a yarn, but it's roving.
It's like before it's spun into a yarn, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it's so cool, and the colors.
It's just, it's beautiful, and it's just amazing how everything works. But felting is you're using the wools, you're using the roving, and it comes with the needles, and it's barbed needles, and then all they're doing is just pushing in, so there's no tension, so no top thread, no bobbin thread, and you just punch, 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 punch. So you just sit there and you're just punching in these fibers. So on this one here, I have the wool, and it's your thread, and then this is what the back side, or it could be reversible, looks like on the back.
That is so cool. I love how it has like that reverse, almost like a ghost image on the back. It's really fun.
Right. And I wish, I can see here where I had missed some of the fibers, so I could go back, and now I can, when I put my felting foot on the machine, I'll go back and just felt it some more to make it more dense and show through more on the back side.
Awesome. That's very cool.
And it's on my Handi Quilter's vest so that I can wear it when I'm teaching.
So you actually felted onto polar fleece then?
Yes,
That's
fleece.
Really cool. Okay, so I haven't seen fleece. I've always seen people do it on like cotton or linen, so that's
or blue jean.
I love it.
Or
I hadn't seen this before either. The blue jeans. Wow.
Yeah. So I just, like I said, I was grabbing everything and just trying to see what I could felt. I even did it on an old set of Handi Quilter leaders.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
because it's a canvas.
Oh,
I mean, so you can felt on that.
Yeah.
So I was trying everything to see, okay, I've got to learn what this whole felting thing is. So it's fun. It's a lot of, it's just you're being creative. It's just fun.
It is.
But yeah, this was just a blue jean jacket. Of course, it doesn't fit anymore. So I was using items that I had that I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with this stuff? So you can see that we have a flower and the sun in the corner.
And these were just pieces of felt that you cut out in these shapes and then felted onto
And
there,
if you notice that shape, it's right off of the Pro Stitcher, one of our block designs.
Okay, so that's the question then. Did you do this with the Pro Stitcher? Did you felt it with the Pro Stitcher?
No.
Okay.
I guess I could have.
You could have, yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
So we'll have to try that one. So what I did was I printed that design out on from Pro Stitcher, traced it, and then cut it out of my wool.
Oh,
so I did put fusible, after a few of my projects, I realized to put fusible on the back of the wool so it stays longer.
Gotcha.
Because felting, you're felting the layers together, but it's not permanent. If I really wanted to tug really hard, it would distort, but you can actually remove the designs that you place on there. What I did learn is not to use intricate, very small designs because it distorted so easily.
I learned that when I did my one project with it that had all these tiny little circles. It was like, no, too small.
Right, so you need to use the large designs.
Yeah.
And that's just part of that felting when it's tearing, it's just going through those layers. So you can use 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 of the needles.
Okay.
So at the beginning, I thought, oh, 5 is better because then you could get it done quicker.
Right.
Well, 5 can really distort it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I've learned that, 3 or 2 needles
Okay.
is the better way to get that.
Start with that, and then maybe if you need a little more, you could add more, or take away.
Right. And use the large designs because you just don't want to distort those smaller designs.
I can totally see that. So tell us about some of the other projects you have here, because you definitely, this is not just quilts.
No. So when I was testing the felting foot and trying to figure out, what is the felting foot? How can I, when I come out to teach at the Handi Quilter events, I want to bring my samples. I want to be able to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going through all the projects, and a lot of it was, I'm thinking quilting. So I did make 2 quilts.
Ah, so cute.
So what you're doing is you're felting,
Mm-hmm.
but then you have to quilt over them to make it permanent.
Right.
So I don't like to do double work, just so I like to just do one or the other. If I'm felting, I want to felt. So I did enjoy making the quilts, but I realized that's probably not where the felting is.
Yeah.
So then the art projects started coming in. And if you look here on this pretty bird, it's just a 4-patch. And if you notice the bird, it is also a pattern off of Pro Stitcher.
I love
I
it.
printed it off, used my golden threads paper, traced it, placed it on the back of my wool with that interfacing or fusible interface, cut it out, fused it on there, and then I just felt.
I love that too, because that's a small project. It probably didn't take you very long, did it?
It didn't, but felting could take longer because there's no it only takes 10 minutes or only takes 15. It's until the fibers are woven together, and then it's just on an art canvas.
Oh, so you just wrap that around?
I just wrapped it around, staple gun,
Oh.
and that's a cute little art project.
That would be so much fun to do too with like kids. Or somebody who is maybe like, I am not ready to do that quilting thing, but I want to play with your machine.
Right, because there's no tension issues,
Yeah,
no
exactly.
thread, and they're just sitting there and they're just playing because you're learning free motion quilting because you're moving the fabric if you're on a stationary and you're moving the machine. So I used my ruler base on a few of them, and you're using your machine and you're practicing free motion.
Oh, that's really
with
cool.
no tension issues.
Yeah, I know. No thread. No thread involved.
Thread.
That's what I love about felting. So much
No
fun.
bobbin thread. So then another art project was just making like a landscape.
Oh, that's so
Again,
cool.
it's just real simple. Having this roving and then your black wool as your background, and you're just felting, placing it on top. You're just having fun. So what I did learn with felting is my aha moment was realizing it's not quilting. Like giving yourself, okay, it's not quilting, but then it became an artwork, and then giving yourself permission to have fun.
Oh,
which is hard to do sometimes. Like, okay, we're just having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm going through all these projects and learning about the felting foot, I thought, now, I'm not the only one out there that doesn't know a lot about the felting and our felting foot. So
I know. What did you do? This was the coolest thing when you called me about this.
I was just like, why does anyone else have to go to all this frustration? So I thought, oh, well, why don't I write a book about the felting project?
Yeah.
So this is my first book. So there was a lot of learning to learn with writing a book, all of it itself. But luckily I have Morgan Kramer who helped me with this book. So she was my photographer, my editor, and just my right hand. I mean, she was amazing. Brought my designs, and then she just brought it to life.
Awesome.
So it was great that she came along with me. So what happened is I just started putting all the projects in the book, and then that way it lets you know like how many needles to use, how much wool to use, the designs to trace and place there.
That's awesome. So this is a great place to start if you want to experiment with felting. So where can people find this book?
Yes, so this book is on Amazon.com, and it's Machine Felting Projects by Martha Rochelle Higdon. You can also request me to come to your Handi Quilter dealer near you and remind me or call me and let me know, and I can bring the books with me there.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and we'll be sure and have a link in the description to where this book can be found, definitely. Well, this has been so much fun. Was there anything else? I think we've caught everything. You got your awesome apron, the quilts, your artwork, all of the lovely things. So tell me, do you have like a major stash now of wool in addition to all the quilting fabric?
Well, at the beginning, I had no wool.
Yeah.
I mean, this was starting from ground zero. Like I said, I was surprised. I've forgotten how many of my shops near me have wool.
Oh.
And then now that I'm out traveling, now I have a little appreciation like, oh, you carry wool? Well, let's look at this. So I do have my stash now of wools, and then roving I've been picking up just wherever I can get some. And I'm almost afraid to felt it because it's so beautiful.
I know.
Some of our fabrics that we're afraid to cut up. But there is, yeah, I have more, and I kept thinking, well, I could write a second book on felting. But I'm thinking one is great. But I would love to see other projects that you're using with the Handi Quilter felting foot on your machines.
Yeah.
We would love for you to hashtag us, like us, subscribe.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. And thank you, Martha, for joining us. This is so much fun. If you want to find Martha on social media, you can find her at
Facebook, Quilting by Martha, Instagram, Quilting by Martha, and YouTube, Martha Higdon.
Yep. So be sure to tag her at Quilting with Martha on any of your felting projects. If you'd like to have any of your quilts featured at the end of one of our videos, be sure to tag us at Handi Quilter, and your quilt just might show up at the end of one of the videos. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and have fun quilting.